Millions of Americans, through no fault of their own, are paying the price this Labor Day holiday for America's worsening economic inequality. Here's Jill Schlesinger.
My name is Tiana Caldwell.
I'm AJ Caldwell.
And I'm Derek.
Before the pandemic struck, the Caldwell family of Kansas City was just making ends meet. Derek was working as an electrician. Tiana was training office workers. AJ was looking forward to playing football after school.
If you go back to the beginning of March, were you busy? Was it slow? What was going on for you?
It was busy, and then it was just like everything just stopped.
You might say COVID-19 infected the family's finances. Their jobs dried up, exposing a stark reality. They had no safety net.
Were you able to save any money before the pandemic hit?
No.
So just paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Even before the coronavirus, nearly 4 out of 10 American adults said they would have difficulty covering a $400 unexpected expense.
We got help from family. We got help from friends.
The Caldwells also got help from KC Tenants, a Kansas City housing rights organization founded by Tara Raghavir.
The pandemic has only laid bare inequities that have existed in our country for a long time.
It's nothing new. Last year, the Census Bureau found income inequality was at its highest level in 50 years. Consider this. 2/3 of the total wealth in this country is owned by the richest 5%. At the same time, more than 38 million Americans are living in poverty, and it's projected that up to 54 million people might not have enough to eat this year.
We have a mythology that what's good for Wall Street is good for Main Street, but that's really never been true.
Economic inequality is the subject of a new documentary based on the surprise bestseller by French economist Thomas Piketty. He has surveyed centuries of economic upheaval.
In the 18th century, money marries money, and so poverty is a death sentence.
The pandemic illustrates, I think the need to change the economic system and to get in the direction of a more equal and more equitable and more sustainable model of economic development.
More than 29 million people are now collecting unemployment benefits. While at the top end of the economic ladder, in the first 3 months of the pandemic, the net worth of the more than 600 billionaires in the U.S. grew by 20%. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, saw his net worth increase by $43.8 billion in the first months of the pandemic.
Those who have the least advantages, the least economic opportunities are going to bear the largest burden of any kind of downturn, whether it be an economic downturn or whether it be a public health crisis.
Valerie Wilson is a director at the Liberal Economic Policy Institute. Wilson sees not only an economic divide, but a racial divide.
COVID-19 has magnified these racial disparities that we have known about for decades. Because of the persistence of many of these disparities, we can almost predict how any crisis is going to go.
For example, Black households have just 10% of the net worth of white households. For Hispanic households, the figure is just 12%.
The combination of COVID-19 and it being such a universal problem, not only in this country, but around the world, has really challenged us to sort of question the idea of whether or not we really are all in this together.